Up the ladder. Hello, my bright, sunny, cheery, flowery friends. Arlo is me, and I'm here, and it is time for another edition of the Nintendo News Roundup. It's springtime. Spring is upon us. And are you as happy as I am? Because I'm not happy at all. Springtime means horrible allergies and bronchitis, and summer is coming, and let's move on. Let's talk about the news. The top story this week, Nintendo announced a new partnership with Niantic, best known for developing the Pokemon Go app. And the first app that they are developing together is a Pikmin app, an AR Pikmin app that's allegedly going to make walking fun. I did a whole video on this, so I won't go too deep into it. But basically, it's Niantic, it's AR, so, you know, your mind first goes to Pikmin Go? Is it like Pokemon Go? But with Pikmin, we don't actually know much about it at all, other than it makes walking fun. We don't know how deep it's gonna be. It might just be like a fun little thing, or it could be like a super cool, big, awesome thing that everybody loves, like the Pokemon Go. Who knows, but that's pretty cool. And really, like, I mean, it's wrapped up in the Pikmin news, but you can't downplay the importance of just the partnership as well. Just the news that Nintendo is, I guess they're not doing much else with DNA, the previous partnership established in 2015. Those projects didn't seem to do super duper well, so now they're moving forward with Niantic, so who knows what else they're gonna do. They have plans to make more apps based on more of their stuff with Niantic, so we gotta keep an eye out for more announcements coming in the future. Here's another pretty cool one. So YouTuber by the name of Rerez, nice guy, had an opportunity to do a meticulous unboxing and documenting of a Nintendo 64 DD development kit. The DD, or disk drive, was a planned add-on for the 64 that didn't really pan out, as you can probably tell. I remember like reading in tips and tricks and stuff about the DD and how you could play as Mario and Luigi. It was gonna be a cool thing. Yeah, it didn't really happen, but like right here, he's got just a meticulously kept, just beautifully pristine development kit in the box. So he did like a super careful unboxing, documented the whole thing. Fascinating stuff. Go check that out if that sounds cool to you. Speaking of old Nintendo hardware that didn't pan out, excellent transition if I do say so myself. Way back when Nintendo and Sony were working together on the Nintendo PlayStation, everything fell through, they split apart, Nintendo did their Nintendo 64 and Sony did the PlayStation, naturally. So, I mean, like, when you hear that story, you know, you tend to assume that there was a lot of animosity there, that, you know, everything fell through, maybe they got mad at each other, do they hate each other? Like, it's only natural to kind of think about that. But PlayStation's Ken Kutaragi was interviewed and talked a little bit about that experience, and it basically says, yeah, a lot of people assume that, but no, really, we were all good pals. We were all, like, he never saw Nintendo as, like, the competition, and just kinda, they were all just working on stuff together, and they were all, you know, good work acquaintances and such, and I don't know, I thought that was pretty interesting. And speaking of quotes from industry veterans, look at that segue. Look at that segue action here. Oh man, the news roundup. It's like an ocean, the ebb and the flow. It's beautiful. It's like a dance, what I do here. What was I talking about? Miyamoto. We know he's always been big on the blue ocean and the new experiences and all that stuff. And somebody dug up an old interview from 1999, and as Nintendo Life points out, it kind of suggests that pretty long before the Wii, he was thinking about thinking about how to get people into gaming and to make it accessible for more people. Okay, well, when I say accessible, motion controls, it's like they are and they aren't accessible. That's what's so interesting about them. But basically, for people who aren't necessarily hardcore gamers. And the quote is as follows. Well, to kind of clip out a little bit here, games are intended for everybody to enjoy. However, looking at the current game market, games are becoming unfriendly for beginners. It is important to keep crafting something new for everybody, not just for hardcore gamers. Then at the end, we should instead always think about new entertainment possibilities for everybody. And, you know, they're always doing R&D. I don't know if anybody, I know they kind of toyed with motion controls and a lot of their different ideas and, you know, like 3D and all that stuff. They kind of been toying with them for a long time. Who knows if they had anything close to the exact idea of the Wii at the time, but, you know, it's easy to see that this is the, one of the seeds of that idea of making a system that just everybody can enjoy, you know? Or at least people of all gaming skill levels can enjoy, because again, accessibility, motion controls, that's the whole thing. Why am I digging in so deep into this? Right now, a sealed copy of the original Super Mario Bros. For the NES is up for auction And it's over 300,000 now. The auction is still going. And as Chris Kohler here points out, this has a pretty good chance of passing the price of the prototype for the Nintendo PlayStation. Looping back around to that, it's not like a segue, but it's like a return, it's like a callback. That's pretty good too, Arlo. That sold for $360,000, making it the highest priced collectible game thing ever sold. And so this sealed Mario has a pretty fine chance of passing it. Personally, if it does, then I would say that the Nintendo PlayStation sold for way too little. I would say like a prototype for a system that never came out between two giant companies. That's way more interesting than just a sealed copy of a game. It's a really important game, but yeah, I don't know. Either this is too high or that's too low, who knows, but that's pretty interesting. Nintendo of Europe's My Nintendo program is offering a Super Mario 35th anniversary zipper pouch. You know, as always, these are probably not going to be easy to find, especially with the end of the anniversary coming up here soon. But, I don't know, there you go, if anyone's able to get their hands on one of those. And speaking of Mario merch, at least according to this, it seems that Nintendo is going to be pulling Mario 35 merchandise out of the Tokyo store, the Tokyo Nintendo store, on March 31st. And I completely understand, and I don't necessarily, the sources here are a little bit cloudy. I can definitely understand not printing more actual literal anniversary stuff, you know, not like game collections, but like literally, this is a mug that says Mario 35th anniversary on it. Yeah, that makes sense. But actually like pulling them down off the shelves, what, just destroying them? Just getting rid of, throwing them away, flushing them down the toilet? I would certainly hope not. I'd hope you'd at least sell through, just sell out. Don't just like destroy them or whatever. I don't really know though. Nintendo European Research and Development, aka NERD, which is excellent, recently opened up about some of the challenges they faced when bringing Super Mario Sunshine over to the 3D All-Stars collection. It seems that it was a little bit tricky getting it to run on there with all of the advancements, and they had to use like deep learning technology to kind of take the old CG videos and you know, like the cutscenes and make them look okay. That's weird. I don't know why Nintendo wouldn't have the source files for those videos. I don't know if like this was made too quickly and Nintendo just didn't have time to do all that, or like if they don't have that anymore. I feel like Nintendo usually saves everything. That's why everybody keeps hacking them and getting everything. But yeah, I don't know. It's, you know, it's kind of an interesting read. I don't know. And, you know, I want to snark about it and be like, really? Like, why is this such a problem? Other people are getting old games to run all the time, but I don't know enough about this whatsoever. I really can't say. Really can't say. Maybe they did a great job. Maybe they're a small team. Maybe Nintendo didn't give them a lot of resources. Maybe the game is particularly tricky to get right. Who knows? I don't know. Speaking of Super Mario Sunshine, a beautiful, just like selfless human being by the name of Noah Ortega has created an app that helps you track the blue coins in Super Mario Sunshine. I have never gotten all the blue coins. I probably will never get the blue coins, but if I do, it's gonna be because this app exists. This is a treasure. This is a public service right here. This thing lets you see detailed descriptions of all the coins, little videos showing people getting the coins. It gives you a checklist and a percentage, and it's everything you would possibly want in trying to get the blue coins in Super Mario Sunshine. And Noah, I'm saluting you so hard right now. That's amazing. Acclaimed Breath of the Wild modder Waikuteru, along with apparently over 50 people, have been collectively developing a massive mod for Breath of the Wild. This adds new quests, new monsters, new NPCs, like a crafting system, just like, I mean, it's almost like a Breath of the Wild sequel. It's like a massive DLC expansion, and I don't really get into modding and stuff, but man, this is tempting. That looks really, really cool. You can see the rundowns, and some people are doing videos and stuff. Looks super cool. Oh, just so cool. And recently we were talking about the glitch that allows you to kind of move around in Breath of the Wild in first person, which obviously brought up VR conversation all over again. Well, another modder has actually made like a little proof of concept in VR. You know, obviously very limited so far, but it kind of gives you just an idea of what it might kind of be like running around Hyrule in VR. I want that very badly. If I can ever get one of those like omnidirectional like keyboard moving things, treadmills or whatever, I just want like give me a version of the game with like take out all the enemies and just let me run around Hyrule in first person. That would be Oh my gosh, that would be incredible. Just VR's, oh, I want that. Lots of fan stuff this week before we get back into the official news. Another person, Marcus Hedges of Trend Orchestra, has put out a Wind Waker orchestrated album. Naturally, it is songs from The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker, but orchestrated, and it's pretty cool. I'm not like super big on orchestrated stuff. I don't know, I'm just not really a big fan. I guess I just prefer the originals or like move in different directions with them or whatever. But this is undoubtedly cool, very high quality, very awesome to listen to. I mean, I'm definitely gonna listen to it at least once. Sakurai is usually pretty quick to brush off comments about the possibility of anything Kid Icarus ever happening again, whether it's a sequel or a port or remaster or whatever. And again, he's basically confirmed that a sequel to Kid Icarus Uprising is not super likely, which is disappointing. If you're not going to do a sequel, at least give us the port. At least put it on the Switch, give it the stick controls, give it the port, do whatever you have to do. If you're not going to give us a sequel, at least give us a port. Popular anime streaming app Funimation came to the US and other territories not too long ago, and now it is coming to the UK and Ireland with more territories planned for the future. So that's pretty cool. Anime on your Switch. The Switch Pro rumors are all swirling around and getting all mixed together and turning into a brown gunk of rumory Switchy Pro grossness at this point. But one new rumor, one analyst suggests that they could see the Switch Pro, or Super Switch, whatever it ends up being called, coming in at $400. However, this does seem to be a very, very speculative. I can't really see that. If that happens, then that's definitely going to be like a super nice deluxe luxury version of the Switch. They're not going to make the base model that much, but if it ends up being like the new 3DS and it just kind of bumps out the old one, I don't see the base regular 3D Switch being $400. Like, that's too much. They're going to want to keep that $300 price point. So I hope this person is right, because I want the former. I want the big fancy one that I spend the extra money on, but it's like extra powerful and stuff. Japanese magazine CoroCoro had a kind of a Splatoon kind of thing with some art and stuff. And in the corner, you could see something about Daft Punk. And a lot of people started speculating if that means that Daft Punk is gonna do a thing in Splatoon. That would be really, really cool if they had that. Well, that's the thing. One, they broke up really recently, which is pretty sad. And then two, it turns out that this entire ad was just made by CoroCoro. It was just the magazine people doing it. This is not an official Nintendo thing. So that's a bummer. That'd be so cool. I'm not even like a massive Daft Punk fan or anything. I actually kind of don't get them, but I don't know, it'd be cool. Their whole aesthetic is really neat. It would work really well, with Splatoon's whole thing. A Japanese company has given its employees the day off to play Monster Hunter Rise. That came at the time of this recording, that just officially launched today, and so many employees were expressing interest in playing it that they just said, you know what, everybody, don't come into work today, have a free holiday, go play Monster Hunter. And that is awesome. That's just awesome. PowerA is putting out another Animal Crossing themed controller. I lost count at this point how many different Animal Crossing related controllers there are, but I don't know, there's another one. And in similar news, the Hori Split Pad Pro is a pretty popular thing for the Switch. It kind of, gives you Switch in handheld mode, a little bit more to grab onto, kind of replaces the Joy-Cons. And it seems that the Monster Hunter, I just said Monster Hunter. This is a real thing that just happened. Monster Hunter version of it is coming to the West next month, which is pretty cool. Monster Hunter, really? Really? Giant evil mega corporation Tencent seems to have patented their own little handheld, and it basically looks exactly like a Switch. I mean, almost to the T. It's just a little Switch. It's just a patent, so nobody knows if it's going to actually become a thing or not. I mean, they helped distribute the Switch in China, so it'd be a little bit weird if they wanted to make their own kind of competition for that. But I don't know, maybe if we could play games the Switch can't play. And then similarly, Qualcomm is they're also a tech company, and they're also reportedly working on their own little very Switchy little handheld, which is also kind of interesting. Don't know if either of these will turn into anything, but I mean, I don't know, I just get a Switch. Well, okay, Switch can't play PC games. I definitely understand the market for these kinds of, just any kind of little handheld, you know, they can hook up to your Steam or your Epic Store library or whatever. Like, I get that. I get the idea. Certain members of the press, myself certainly not included, were able to get a little behind closed doors taste of new Pokemon Snap, and they had a lot of cool new details here on this little rundown on Nintendo Life. They've even got a video too, just talking about lots of little stuff. Apparently there's like voice acting. The most interesting thing for me is replayability. Apparently there's branching paths. You've got different Pokemon that show up during different runs through. You've got like day and night variants. So right away, even right there, even if the game is only as long as, okay, I'm sure it's gonna be longer. Even if it were theoretically as long as the original in terms of the levels themselves, this right here offers a lot of new content, a lot of replayability. There were some branching paths and stuff in the original too, but it seems like they're really doubling down on making the most out of what they have, and that is great because, you know, just make it a good deal longer than the original, add all the cool replayability. That's gonna be awesome. Golly, I can't wait to play that. What is it, like a month away? Oh, come on! The Toy Zone has conducted what you might call a study using Google search terms and rankings to determine the top most popular Pokemon, at least Gen 1 Pokemon, for each country. You got a lot of Pikachus and stuff, but you also get some pretty interesting picks in there. However, one could say that this is not super legitimate because there are a lot of reasons that people would be searching for these terms. In fact, there's a comment down here. Nintendo Life user Octane, Golem is a German metal band. Paris is a place in Pakistan, and there are people named Paris. So that's a really good point there. There could be lots of different reasons why some of these they're not talking about Pokemon whatsoever. There's just different like name variants in various languages. So there's a good chance that it's not super accurate. One might be tempted to write the whole entire thing off because of that, but I would say that kind of makes it interesting in its own way. I don't know. I still think that's kind of interesting. I'd like someone to dig into this and like figure out why each one is the way that it is and when it's legitimate and when it's just because, oh no, that's the name of a city or something, you know? Last year, Reggie Fils-Aimé joined the GameStop board of directors, presumably to help GameStop not die, basically. And it seems that he's done all he could do. He has kicked all of the butts and taken all of the names that he was able to do, and he is now leaving, along with a lot of other board members. I cannot imagine this bodes super well for the company. However, it never really felt like a hopeful situation. So, I mean, if Reggie couldn't do it, I'm sure no one can. He's getting out of that sinking boat while he still can. We need like a special section called Reggie Watch. I need to get like a little graphic and a special little like music or something for like whenever Reggie does anything. Because he's not even Nintendo news anymore technically, but it's like we're still watching him. Reggie Watch. Ba-ba-da-ba-da. Anyway, what are we talking about? That's it for this edition of the Nintendo News Roundup. I love you. Go down to the comments and talk about some of the stories if you feel like it. You don't have to. No pressure. Please have a good day. You're wonderful. You're wonderful. Goodbye.